Welcome back to my channel and to the 5th R video tutorial. The last tutorial I made, it was a shorter one where I gave you a quick introduction to data table. It was kind of popular on Reddit, so I thought I will make another video like this, a short one with some basic stuff that you need all the time in R. So today I want to talk about the pipe. I will show you what the pipe is, but before that I got a nice comment on Reddit where remember to back up data, that's his nickname, pointed out that I had to resize the window a lot, and he or she, I don't know, suggested that I move the console to the right. That's actually a good idea when I make videos, so thanks for the feedback, and I'm doing that with this video now. So basically the pipe has a long history. I found this article here on DataCamp, why it was invented and the history of it and how to use it. I will link to that underneath the video, but I think the pipe is best explained directly in R when I show it to you. So again, we set the working directory, we load the tidyverse, we don't need data table in this case. And I again use some data I aggregated for my website baseball-dashboard.com. So it will be again some baseball data. Again, I'm sorry if you don't know baseball, but today actually you don't need to know anything about baseball to follow the tutorial. So because the pipe is mainly known from the package dplyr, I just transform here the data to a table. And when I show you how the data looks, we have the name here of all the players from the 2018 season, but I also have a league average. But when we calculate some statistics, this doesn't make sense. So here I get rid of the league average row with the filter function. And now we can come to the pipe. So to show you what the pipe does, let's say we want to know all the teams, all the baseball teams in this data set. Because of course, if we look at the team column, we can see that it repeats a lot, because of course there are many players on every team, so it would repeat. So normally now we would say, okay, we use the unique function and we feed it the column. Then we can say, okay, here's also the total column, because it's also in there. Here are all the major league teams. So for the pipe looks like this in R. So it's the percent sign, the greater sign, and the percent sign again. We can do the same thing as we did before, but we do it, if you want, in a different order. So we take our vector, our column in the data set. Now we use the pipe, and now we use the unique function. If we run this, we can see it's the same output as if we run unique and the column inside of the unique function. So what the pipe does is it takes the input, that's called the input, on the left hand side from the pipe, and it feeds it into the first argument of the function here. That's basically it. And why this matters, I show you now. So let's say again, we want to filter something. So now we just say, okay, our data, and we pipe, our data is our input, and we pipe it into the filter function. But remember, now the pipe, if we want, puts it already as the first argument into the filter function. Because here, without the pipe, we really had to say, okay, filter on the data frame. Now it already knows this if we want, so we can directly go to, okay, what do you want to filter for? So we start here with the second argument. So we say league equals AL, that stands for American League. We do that, we can see, yep, it worked. We have all the rows of the players that played in the American League. Now we use the pipe again, and we can put in a page break, and we look at the comment here. Now we want to select these columns here. So again, we use the select function in this case. And now this whole thing will be piped, if you want, into the select function. So we can skip the first argument if we want, and just say, okay, give me the name, the team, the at-bats, the hits, and the batting average. I hope I did this correctly. Yeah, now we can see we have what we want. We have the columns that we just specified, and the rows, the players that we filtered here. And we can do this as often as we want. And note that we haven't put anything here in an object till now. It's all take the data, feed it into this, take this output as an input for this function. Because again, on the left hand side of the pipe, you have the input, on the right hand side, if you want where the input should go. It's not really an output, but where it should feed into. So if we go to this pipe now, this function here is again the input for this function. So we can do this as often as we want. So if we want to see, let's say, is the batting average here calculated correctly, we can do this calculation ourselves with mutate. We say average equals hits divided by at-bats. Again, we hit enter, and we can see, yeah, actually the stats I have here in the original data really is the hits divided by the at-bats. So the pipe basically is a nice way to organize your codes. It's easier to follow what happened in the code and what your thought process was when you wrote the code. But it could be the case that you don't want to have the input as the first argument of the function next to the pipe, or on the right hand side of the pipe. And in this case you can use the placeholder, and it's just a period like this. Because let's say for whatever reason we now want to select the second and the third column, so team and at bat. So how you normally would do that, I will show you with the original data. You will put in data, open square brackets, leave the rows alone, so make a comma, and just say, okay, give me the second to the third column, and it would do that. But if we do that here, it will not work, because we have nothing here. So, and it doesn't make sense to put in this input, the thing that comes out of here, into it actually doesn't know where to put it. So now we can use the period. So now the pipe knows, okay, I will take the output of all of this and place it here. So again, if we just run this thing here, we can see that's the output. The period stands for, okay, here's the period, but actually I will use this thing here, and if we execute it, we can see it really worked. It gave us the second and the third column. Just to show you how you would write that without the pipe, I did that, and it's really easy to get lost here. It's exactly the same thing, because here we use filter. We say filter the data for league, American League, and then this function becomes the first argument of the select function. So we take this, then we say, okay, select name, team, at bat, hit batting average, and then this whole thing here becomes the first argument of the mutate function. And then we say mutate average again, what we did up here, hits divided by at bats. And then we take this whole thing and we say, this is now our data frame if you want, and from this, please give us the second and third column. But the nice way about the pipe is that it's really easy, as I said before, to see what's going on, because we can see, to recap, okay, there's a data frame, a table in this case. We feed this into the filter function. We feed the output from here into the select function. We feed this output into the mutate function, and we feed the whole thing with this operator here, with the period. We don't really feed it somewhere, but we say, okay, take this output and give us the second and third column. Okay, that's it. I decided to make a quick one again, and it's a really short introduction to pipes in R. I will link, as I said, to this DataCamp article here. There's a lot of stuff. Why use it? That's a good question. I think it's really helpful. And they also have there are other kinds of pipes that they also go into. So if you're interested in this, read this article. It's really nice. And if you want to be informed when videos like this one come out, you can go to my website and click on mailing list, and you can leave me your mail address and I will send out an email when a new video comes out. Okay, that's it for today. Please let me know again what you think about it. Thank you for the feedback from the people I heard from. Keep it coming and see you next time.